Hi, my name is Dhashen Govender and I am one of the account executives for SovTech Africa. So in a nutshell, my role entails meeting with clients across the African continent and essentially understand some of the problems that they currently face and work internally with the team at SovTech to essentially develop solutions that complement some of the problems that the African continent currently faces. So I think, servicing the African continent over the past few years has led insight into two avenues. The first being some of the problems that Africa faces, and that may be sort of poor education, poor health, lack of proper infrastructure, and maybe fraud and corruption. But what dealing with the African continent has also shed light into is how the African continent, or brilliant sort of African entrepreneurs, are actually looking at leveraging technology to help sort of curb some of the problems that are currently being faced in Africa. So having observed technology in general over the last 10 years or decade, one can very confidently argue that software is the fuel to the future, and in turn Africa is now home to the next Silicon Valley. So whilst the United States may have Silicon Valley, there is hope that Africa could do one better. Not a valley per se, but a savanna that discovers uniquely African solutions to uniquely African problems. The digital revolution in Africa is currently unfolding in front of us. The African continent is looking at new ways of doing things, new ways of thinking, and millions of people connecting to the internet for the very first time. So African technology is taking the center stage. The continent is driving new ways in terms of technical innovation. All it takes is a mobile phone and connection to the internet. So let's maybe have a look at why we think that Africa is home to the next Silicon Valley. So Africa is ripe and in a prime position to enter the tech space. Africa has multiple advantages over other regions in terms of developing their tech economy. And the reason for this is Africa can learn from some of the mistakes that early sort of tech hubs made, such as Silicon Valley, and additionally, they can sort of bypass some of the outdated technology, such as maybe landlines, branch banking, and leverage sort of some of the new concepts for the likes of maybe Web3, which is the incorporation of blockchain technology or decentralization of economies. Additionally, Africa is home to the youngest population on the planet with an average age of 20, and what this means is that there's a large group of the population that's looking for a break into the tech economy. Nelson Mandela mentioned that education is the most powerful tool that can change the world. So Africa is one that recognizes this and has devoted much attention towards e-learning or technical-based sort of education. So Africa is currently driving huge development towards e-learning and focusing a lot of the development towards sort of software engineering, computer science, and tech-based learning in general. So having a look at what Africa is currently offering in terms of some of the resources, we mine as some of the richest metals in the world. We have some of the best harbors and airports globally, and combining those resources with a young, dynamic, and passionate group of skilled individuals creates for a very strong technical economy, which arguably over the next 10-20 years will be the Earth's sort of leading technical continent with a group of young, dynamic, and passionate individuals.